is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time! Presenting the champion of the world, Phil WamBam Benamino!
Yo, it's your boy, it's Phil WamBam Benamino, and it's another WamBam Wednesday. You know, the show about ordinary people who have done extraordinary things. And as always, before we get started, we want to ask you, please subscribe. Subscribe to the show. Make sure you hit the little alert button so you get all the alerts, so you get all of our new material and stuff. Today's episode, if you're just a normal, average kid getting ready to get out of school and you want to go to college and you're wondering, how can I go to college? How can I get there? It costs lots of money. I have some skills. I'm athletic, but they say I'm undersized. What do I do? Well, guess what? Today's guest is going to give us all those answers because you're going to find out right now. We got Riley McKee in the house. Riley, how are you today, man?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, buddy. Good to see you, man. Glad you can make it. Reinhardt Eagles, is that what it is?
Yes, sir.
Man, that's I grew up as with Mid Lakes. The Screaming Eagles was actually one of the nicknames from high school that we went to. So, tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. I know you're from West Forsyth County up here, up north and stuff. A big football player, big heart, but maybe not the biggest guy out there on the block. Tell us a little bit about that journey, man.
I mean, it all started when I was 4, playing football. And I went through Liberty Middle School. I suffered a few injuries in middle school as well that most people don't. I've had a challenging journey.
Yeah.
In high school, I played all 4 years. A great program, West Forsyth. And with recruiting, I did just about everything everybody else does. Post on Twitter, go to all these camps. Nothing was really, working.
How does that make you feel, man, as a college athlete? Because obviously you're a high school athlete. Very, very well. You succeeded. You were at the top. You're a starter. You're one of the main guys. And you see some people are being recruited by these D1 schools. The NIL money's out there. They're throwing at people, and you're not getting that love. What does it make you feel like, man?
I mean, it's definitely it makes you feel like I'm not like good enough for sure. But I blocked that out. I just I knew that God would He's got a journey for me, and I knew I'd end up where I am, and that's Reinhardt.
Yeah.
They reached out about my second game. I had a clip that went viral. It won. It was on Recruit Georgia Twitter. It won the Play of the Week. They reached out and said they were interested and that they would like me to come out the junior day at the time. And I was like, well, here we go. Maybe things will start. And I picked up a few D3 offers from up north, and I just didn't feel like home. I went up there to visit them at Reinhardt, and automatically I just had that feeling. You played at Hobart, and I'm sure you had that feeling. And I was just like, what? I think this is where God wants me to be. And so I told him I waited. I had a few people I was talking to at the time, and it just ended up. I think I committed around March of my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what, this is the place for me, and here we are.
There you are, man. Well, it's well said. Number one, God does have a plan, and I do believe that strong and wholeheartedly. And we don't always see the end of the tunnel that they're trying to direct us through, to get to. But trust me, I look back in time and go, wow, I'm so glad I didn't do this or I didn't do that. And back then when I thought things were the worst, it turns out they were the best, when you look back at things. So, it's important that you do understand that. But, going to Reinhardt and stuff, let's talk a little bit about, being that guy in high school, because you were that guy in high school. You had a lot of hype on you, man. You were making big hits. Everybody knows you and stuff. And some of your colleagues, some of your friends actually did get some good D1 offers and stuff. Did it make, I know you said it made you feel like you weren't good enough, but you are good enough. You're just a different size. And that's one thing that, I learned just growing up, and it was a long time ago when I played, but, I used to go to Syracuse camps, football camps all the time. And, the coach there, I always wanted to be, go to Syracuse. I thought that's where I was going to play football. Mm-hmm. And I was very fortunate that the coach from Syracuse went to Hobart, was actually the head coach there, and recruited me because he remembered me from the camps. And I knew at that point in time, I wasn't 6'4", I wasn't 6'5". 5, but it didn't mean I couldn't play football in college and give me the education and opportunity to do that. And to be honest with you, I played a lot longer than a lot of these guys who got those Division I offers and stuff that are playing. I mean, you got to think about that. You played, I think by the 3rd or 4th game, you were the starter over there, weren't you, Reinhardt?
I was. I ended up, I worked my tail off. A lot of ups and downs along the way, but that's part of the journey. But yeah, they called up my name, and I started for the rest of the year. So.
Well, you didn't just start, man. You stepped in and you did the job. Would you get a couple picks there on the outside? I think you returned 1 for 6, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I did. It was against Point University. That kind of it didn't go too viral, but it blew up a little bit. The NAIA Sports Network or whatever, they posted it. It was
Tell us a little about that play. What exactly happened? Walk me through it, man.
So we got a play call where I'm man on man with the running back, and wherever he goes, I go, and he flared out in the backfield, and we had some good pressure up front, and the quarterback threw it off his back foot, and I was right place, right time.
Yeah.
And I just took off. I caught around like the 40, so I just show off my legs a little bit.
Little 40-yard hustle there, scramble down there. Did anybody try to catch up to you or get close to you?
No, I mean I got a little sneaky athleticism.
Yeah.
Look at me, you wouldn't see.
No, you're quick. Come on, man. I know.
I know. Yeah, you wouldn't think, but once you see me go, I can scoot a little bit.
Yeah. What was that feeling like?
Oh, it was. Everybody has that. College is very different from high school. It's more of a job than anything. You're more playing for your school and your scholarship than the community of West or wherever you played. But
dude, that is so true, and the way you said it and described it is perfect, because it is a job, and people don't realize. Listen, number one, just going on to college and playing a sport. Yeah. That's like 3% elite of the world. Yeah. Not everybody gets an opportunity to be able to do that. So that the fact that you were able to go to college, they're going to pay for you to be there and play football, something that you love to do while gaining an education, is huge. And people don't realize that football is just as good as any other football. There's a lot of freaking athletes out there in the world today. Yes, they're different sizes, they're different shapes. Unfortunately, we're in a, it gets, you get into that stigma where, if you're not 6'4", 6'5", or you don't look a certain way, sometimes they do judge you, but, doing the right thing that you're doing now, playing at in a college like Reinhardt, who knows, 2-3 years, you keep playing, you keep, becoming a stud. Who knows where you end up, Buddy of mine, Ali Moppet, who was actually on one of our pods and stuff, he went to Division III college, went to Hobart and stuff, and ended up playing with the Tampa Bay. He was first-round draft pick and, turned out to be a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. So anything's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have that in your blood? Do you feel like that's something you really want to do? Is it, now kind of settle down saying, that's just, I want to enjoy playing ball while I can, but it's not really one of my goals to my ultimate?
I mean, I think more realistically, NFL guys are, they're huge. You've seen plenty of them. Actually, my D-line coach, Coach Matthews, he played in the league for 6 years, and he's 6'5", 310 pounds of pure muscle. And
where'd he play at?
He played at South Carolina.
Okay, all right.
And he actually was All-American. He's very, very good guy, very humble. But no, I mean, I look at it as, I've had passion for football since I was 4, and I feel like these are my last 4 years, of football. So I mean, I'm going to take, all the steps I can to make sure all the seasons go perfect. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Who's your biggest role model? Would you say, out there? Who's some of your idols that you have?
I mean, it's a basic answer. Your mom, my mother. She, a lot of people, when you get to the fall camp, you want to quit. You're like, why did I sign up for this? She basically forced me to stay there. I've never quit in my life.
Mama did. So you know what? Let's reverse a little bit. Let's rewind, because I want to talk about the transition when you first go to college, right? When you're leaving home, you get a homesick, right? And even though you're not that far from home, let's face it. I mean, you're 30 minutes, but sometimes people don't realize. Sometimes it's even harder because it's not far away. Exactly. But you still miss it. You miss it even more sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, being only like 30, 40 minutes away, I mean, you have the option to drive home. And, there's many days where I was like, man, I just want to get in my truck and just go. But she would come up almost every day during fall camp. She would, fix up my room, because I didn't have the time to, tidy it up or nothing, but she really allowed me to get through that. So
That's awesome.
And my dad, he was ready for me to come home and work. You know how dads are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure. We'll whatever you want to do, you come home, you can help me. But no, my mom, she really, really forced me to stay, and I'm really grateful for that because I ended up having a great season and a great overall experience. So.
I think it's important. A lot of kids today, they start something, they don't finish it. It kind of goes with the character that they turn into a little bit. They feel like they can just do whatever they want, stop, and just move on to something else. And then they never really excel at anything because they don't have that habit that they've built within. So what your mom did is right, man. And, hats off to her. I know she's a great woman. And, I'm sure that she's there. Now, did you get teased at all from some of your teammates and stuff? Your mommy's here all the time or what?
Oh, no, because they understand for sure. And my teammates, that play alongside me, they were the same way. They were ready to quit. A lot of people, I bet about 50 kids probably quit, within the first week.
Really?
And that just made me want to do it even more because,
right.
But quitting, my coach Miller, he's a head coach there at Reinhardt. He's always, every time we going through a workout or something like that, he's always like, it's easier to just quit, But he really focuses on building us as young men and preparing us for the next steps in life after football.
Yeah, that's the thing about quit, man. There's no such thing as quit because when you quit, it's over. It's done. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't go back. You can't change. You're never going to wonder. You don't ever have those answers. So that's why you always have to, when you start something, I believe you're fully committed. You have to commit and you got to go through it all. And it turns out, your team did pretty well. Well, you finished 9-2?
Yeah.
Got in the playoff run there for a little bit. Yeah. How'd that go, man? First playoff game. What was that like?
We joke about it now, but that bus ride home was not too pleasant. But it was a great experience. Being a freshman and making it to the playoffs. I think it's only the top 20 in the nation get to go. It was a great experience. We got to go down to Miami and play St. Thomas. But on paper we were about the same. But when we got on the field, it was just a whole different. They were stronger, faster, and that's really played a role in how we're preparing this summer as a team. And I think we're gonna make a good run this year.
Yeah. So what's it like being in college? The after parties, the celebrations and stuff. Tell people a little bit, especially these high school kids and stuff that are looking to go to school and everything. What are they in for? What should they expect?
At Reinhardt, at these smaller schools, there's more restrictions, of course, and party's not really allowed at Reinhardt. Neither is alcohol, which. In some cases, that's a very good thing because, you stray away from what you're trying to work towards as a team or just being a student in general. These bigger colleges, I have plenty of friends that, they party a lot and, after football games, it's just crazy. But, they fall behind on their schoolwork and, maybe just ultimate goals they want in life. And, I feel like that plays a good role in, what you want to do. But the 4 years in college, everyone, you're supposed to have fun and stuff like that. But ultimately, you're getting ready for, your career and, other things like that in life. And I feel like you should take the most, of that opportunity.
Hey, folks, this is WamBam at WamBam's podcast. I want to take a moment to thank our major sponsor, Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. If you're a business owner and you're accepting credit cards or need to accept credit cards, reach out to Cost Plus Processing at 1-855-391-9190. That's 1-855-391-9190. And find out why they are the future in merchant processing. Now back to the show. Yeah. Now, being an athlete there at Reinhardt, do they ask you to play any other sports there as well?
No, they some of my teammates play or they run track and throw the javelin. I actually have a teammate that's an Olympic qualifier in NAIA. So
that's nice.
So he's doing pretty good right now.
What's his name?
David.
Give him a shout out.
David Freiberg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. What's he an Olympic tryout for?
Javelin.
Javelin. Okay.
Yeah. He's a I want to say 4-time national champion.
Nice.
He's very good at it. But no, they understand if you do play another sport, but ultimately, if football is paying most of your scholarship, they expect you to be there and be with the team. So
Right. Now, you said they're pretty strict on that as well. So there's rules. I'm sure there's curfews and those types of things. Can they ever threaten to pull your scholarship away if you don't do a certain thing? I mean,
Coach Miller runs a very tight ship around there, and that's the kind of program I want to play for. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, you want to win, and that's what it takes to win. But if you ever leave campus when you're not supposed to or something like that, and gets word back to him, he's pretty strict on that, and he threatens you to take you off the team. So
gotcha. So you know what? Take me through an average day off season. So off season now, you've got a year under your belt. You're getting ready to get back into the season, of course. But what is required? So walk me through it.
So like right now, I'm working again with the guy I worked through in high school, but normally they send us, if you're not on campus, they send you a whole PDF of workouts and stuff like that, what they're doing at school, if you're not there, and you're required to send a video in about every day. And
so they want video. They want to see exactly what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
So you can't say, "Oh yeah, I did it today. Check, it's done."
Yeah,
they want to visualize
they want to make
it.
sure you're.
That's good. I like that.
You're into the team,
right?
For the team.
Do you ever make a bunch of videos in one day and then just
put
them out there daily?
I'm big on honesty and just getting your work done. I know there's some days where everybody has these days where they're long and hard, and you just don't want to do anything else. But I take pride in just doing what you got to do and getting it done.
That's good. What about in season? So season's going on. What's the day? I mean, obviously you got college, you got school, you got classes. What is that like? How do you juggle everything?
So as a freshman, we have a thing called Developmental League, D League in quotes. But we would lift Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 a.m. That was rough. That was really rough. They wanted us to quit. Because ultimately they were the.
Why do you think? So why do you think that is? Why do you say you said a couple times they want to make you quit?
Yeah.
What makes you feel like they want to make you quit?
I feel like when you're at your lowest is when you need to perform the best, which is ultimately what happens on the football field. You've 10 play, 12 play drive. You're tired, wanting to just get off on the sideline so you can get a drink of water. But the end goal is to make the offense, not score and get the offense on the field.
So I think the theory as a coach and being a coach, former coach myself, I could tell you, I believe in if you do the hardest things that are at you in life, everything else becomes easy.
Exactly.
So by getting you up early and getting you on that field early, you're tired, you don't want to do it. If you can get through, I don't think that they're trying to make you quit. I think they're trying to make you better. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like they want you to be prepared for that moment. Like you said, you got that last drive to go down the field. Can you reach down deep inside in your gut and pull it out and actually get that win, to perform at the highest level when you need to? Because every team has gone through that one point in their life, and you don't know when that's going to be. You just got to be ready for it. There's no script, right? The teams that you think you're going to blow out, sometimes they're nail biters and vice versa. So I think that's a great thing that they're trying to, get you prepared for that. What is it like though with school? How do you balance both? I mean, do you have double sessions in practice? You went in the mornings, you go in the afternoons as well. How does that work?
Yeah, so they after lifts in the morning, they actually we have advisors, like every college, but they understand our schedule for football, so they usually schedule our classes from anywhere from 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. to 12. Sometimes you get a class later in the afternoon, but ultimately, whenever class is done, you just go to practice. That's how it is. You just work around it. You figure it out is what they all say. Because in life, that's what you have to do.
Right.
A challenging schedule and biting your nails to get to the next class or practice. But ultimately, your day starts around 6, and for freshmen, we have study hall around I think 6 to 8, so we finish practice around 5:30, 6ish, go straight to study hall. So they prioritize education before football, which is ultimately that's really good.
Yeah, that's good. What's the diet like? What's the food like there? I mean
we're a smaller school, so we don't have all the nutritionists and all that, but they force us 3 meals a day. We have mandatory breakfast, the coaches are usually in there at
So
lunch.
it's mandatory. You have to come to practice to breakfast.
The breakfast is always mandatory.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because they want to keep us in that I guess that mode of waking up early.
Yeah.
And, getting your day started.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm early riser anyways, so I mean it's not a big deal.
Sure.
But it helps my teammates out who aren't.
What is that like when you got a teammate that's not really giving it their all? Like, I mean, how does that affect you? Because obviously in football, that's one of the sports that, you actually rely on 10 other people at the time when you're on the field. One person, isn't going to change the full outcome. You need 11 people to know exactly what they're doing, and everybody has a job to do for it to be a successful play. What is it like when somebody's not giving it their all and they're not pushing themselves the way you are?
Yeah, for a program like Reinhardt, you got guys that have the same work ethic and ultimately are just there to work and win. And when somebody crosses the line of they don't want to do nothing, they're not doing what's expected of them. It's not tolerated for my teammates and I. Which is ultimately Coach Miller. He preaches that, and I just think why even be there and waste your time if you're not going to give it your all? Because, I mean, you should be there for a reason no matter what. I mean, you should always have a reason or a purpose in life. So, I mean.
Is that somebody that you reach out to and try to talk to and have a conversation with? Or is it somebody you just kind of avoid and just be like, let them do their thing? I mean, are you one of them guys that kind of try to, you recognize something in somebody and you try to have a conversation with them? Or do you try to stay away from that?
I mean, no. I mean, I have a big heart, so I always want to hear people out, because you never know what someone's going through,
Absolutely.
Especially with a challenging schedule like a college football. I mean, you want to talk to them first, and maybe help them out with whatever they're going through. But I mean, if it's just plain, just being lazy and whatever, I mean, that's just not tolerated. And we want to win. So
yeah, what's it like when somebody doesn't like you? You're that try hard kid. Oh, there he is. He's try hard. He wants to be. He's trying to stand out. He's a coach's pet. You ever get a little bit of that, a little jealousy go on?
I mean, yeah, but I mean that's gonna happen in anything you do. You just ignore it because at the end of the day, you are who you are, and I take pride in how people view me and how I go about things. So I mean, I really just ignore it.
Right. That's good. That's good that you're able to do that. Let's talk about what's really important, the females. What happens, man, when the girls are coming? You got a girlfriend there at college or what?
I don't.
No?
It's slim pickings around there.
Oh, yeah?
Right now,
oh, you hear that, Reinhardt? You got to hire some more girls in there, man. Do they get any girl sports? Soccer, volleyball?
They do. They got soccer, volleyball, lacrosse.
Yeah.
You got some
those
golf.
are some good sports right there. Yeah.
Yeah. They're all pretty successful too.
Yeah.
Softball, I'm left that one out.
All right.
But no, I mean, I'm really focused on football in my career right now. If God has a girl for me, they'll show up eventually.
Yeah.
I'll know, but
they'll just break your heart. Don't worry about it. They're just gonna break your heart. Eventually, it's gonna happen. So you gotta already know that. Being that you talk about you're there for business, you're there for school. What is it you're studying? What are you taking? What are you trying to? What is it you're trying to accomplish? So many kids go into college and they have one thing. They say, "Hey, I'm going to be this," and then by the time they're a sophomore, junior, they're changing it 3 or 4 times, anyways. What is your passion? What are you trying to do with it?
Like in high school, I always had I was fascinated with sports medicine and stuff like that. Just dealing with injuries and stuff like that. But when I got to college, I was like, I want to be pretty successful, and you're without connections. Sports medicine could be challenging with paychecks. But I'm doing general business right now. I'm actually trying to get my real estate license as we speak. I just want to sell a few houses on the side of me playing college football. But when I turn 21, my family's in construction and all that, so I plan on getting my contractor's license.
Gotcha.
Building and selling houses.
Right. Now, you mentioned you want to be successful. Define success. So many kids today have different ways of telling what successful means.
I feel like success, a lot of people think it's just, how much money you can get and, ultimately how big of a house or what cars you drive. But success at the end of the day is, it's just having a family and, being able to, provide for them and then seeing them succeed. I feel like that's the ultimate goal, as a father, and just as a dad, and I mean, I don't know. Success, a lot of people have their own opinion about it, but, at the end of the day, it's just happiness, you know, if you're not happy in life, you're not going to be successful, vice versa. I mean, if you're happy in life, I feel like that's success.
Yeah, that's good. So many people, like you said, define success with what you have. And it's definitely not what you have. I tell people all the time, it's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have, number one. Yeah. And how you treat others. I mean, I've preached to my kids growing up. My main thing is, how do you treat, strangers? And if you treat strangers as good as you treat your best friend, then I'm happy. Yeah. I'm happy to know that, because that means I did a good job raising them to be able to do those types of things. So, so Reinhardt, do you like it there? It's your second year, you're going in there. I mean, if you got a phone call from a little D2 school or maybe even a D1 school and said, hey, Riley, we've been watching your film, man. We've been watching what you're doing, and we think you can play up here with us. We want you to come out and check us out. What would you do?
Honestly, Reinhardt is big on family, and, I'm big on family as well. And that was one of the turning points for me, is deciding to go there. And honestly, it would really have to depend on if that program felt the same way and, we're about unity and stuff. But no, I mean, I like where I'm at right now. Yeah. And, I like the way they treat me and, treat others. And it feels like a family. So, I mean, I enjoy going up there. I love being home, but, it's my home away from home. Right. So, I want it to be, suitable for me, and I feel like it is.
Yeah. Hey, folks, this is WamBam at WamBam's podcast. I just wanted to let you know that we've launched our website and merchandise is now available to you. That's right. We have hats. We have T-shirts. We have hoodies. The hoodies have been going off the shelf already. The Stay Positive hoodies. That's right. Stay positive, folks, and keep testing negative. As you know, go to our website at www.wambamspodcast.com. That's www.wambamspodcast.com. Now back to our show. Talk a little bit about, the separation of being at home. I know you are very tight and, obviously you said it over and over again. You're really, really strong family. I know your family's well, your mom, your dad. You get a little brother there. He's not little anymore. He's growing up, right? Was your actual, he was your mascot back when you were playing, right? And so now he's getting older. What's it like when you have to separate, when you're away from them 24/7?
It's hard, anybody has to go to college. You face times where you feel lonely and stuff, and you just want your family. But ultimately, they're there for you and supportive, and they're one phone call away. So once you get over that adjustment of not seeing them every day, and then just knowing you'll see them maybe over the weekend or a few days here and there, it gets easier. It's definitely difficult, but at the end of the day, I'm at college. I'm helping pay for the college and stuff like that. So that helps motivate me, to continue to stay there and just.
Right. Listen, you're getting a great education. You got a great opportunity. You're getting to play ball, playing a sport that you love to do at a high level. Okay. Make no mistake about it. They're, like I said, and here's the funny thing too, is you see so many kids that go D1, they never see the field. No. They see the field when it's 56-0 for the last 30 seconds of the game. And they're like, hey, I wore the helmet and I put it on. I was on the field, or I'm on the sidelines. You're playing every single week, and there's something to say for that, because as you're playing, you're actually evolving and you're getting better as an athlete. And that's important. And, I know there's practice is important too. And a lot of these D1 schools are like, oh, I'm practicing. I'm still playing. I'm still learning. And that's great, if that's the case. But I think there's nothing like game time. When you get the time to actually be on the field and play in those situations and understand, you just have a different perspective on things. Don't you agree?
Oh yeah, for sure. No, I hate standing on the sidelines, and that was one of my goals for my freshman year, was, to end up playing. And, I'm just glad I got the opportunity to do that. And, I'm just, a lot of these guys, they just want to say they did it, which is totally fine. Everybody, does what they want to do. But that's not me. I want to play. I've had a passion for football for forever. So, that's something I really took pride in this year.
Yeah. Well, I think it's not just playing, it's being remembered, right? You want to make a statement and say, hey, remember my name. Riley McKee came through this college and remembered me. I know that's the feeling stuff. You talk about goals and how goals are important. What are some of your goals now? Because your goal is just to get on the field and play. Well, you're doing that. So what's next? What are some of your goals in the next few years that you got for yourself?
I just want to be a good leader. I guess grow as a leader in the program. I'm still young, so I mean, you have the older guys that really have a big voice in the program. I just want to be a better leader. And just ultimately just keep doing what I'm doing, and time will tell. So
if you had an opportunity to meet one of your biggest idols in football, who would it be?
Honestly,
don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. I want honesty, of course.
I really haven't given that much thought, but
you don't have somebody that you just idolize, watching when you were small and young, growing up, and somebody you wanted to
honestly,
be?
it's
like my guy was LT, man. LT was my dude, man. I would wrap my fingers like LT. Like I wanted to become him. I had his poster in my locker before the game, and I'd listen to some of his highlights and what he had to say. We were a bunch of crazed dogs, and it would just get me fired up, ready to go. You had nobody like that?
Honestly, thinking back, Ray Lewis, as a young kid, I always watched, hardest hits of whatever, that just fired me up as a little kid. I wanted to go outside and just hit something right away. But Ray Lewis, being a linebacker and stuff like that, I really enjoyed watching him, and then hearing a story of why he wore 52 and all those things, just what motivated him to be what he was.
Yeah. Tell the viewers real quick, why did he wear 52?
He had 52 cards in his deck, and his dad beat up his mom and stuff like that, and he would take each card out of the deck, and whatever number it had on there, he'd do push-ups because he wanted to get strong enough to help his mom out, help protect her. And I feel like that speaks high volumes of his character and what motivated him to be the best. So
right, yeah, and that is a great story, and it's funny because I've actually used that now.
Yeah.
More and more coaches have used that, especially with the off season. Say, grab a deck of cards, boom, flip over every card, whatever you flip over. That's how many, whether it's you can alternate it with sit ups or push ups or anything else to get a workout out of it. But yeah, he was doing it out of pure anger to say, hey, I got to get stronger and to be able to protect my mom, which is pretty cool. So what's next for Riley? Obviously back to school. What's next for you?
Honestly, I'm what's next is just getting through fall camp. That's one of the hardest times as a college athlete, for sure.
Let's talk real quick about that, because one thing we didn't talk about is how do you take care of your body?
Yeah.
Like, the recovery and stuff. So many people the preparation is important, getting ready, knowing the plays, watching film, knowing what you're doing. But what about the body, man? You're playing at a higher level. There's a lot more crashes. Trust me, I feel it now, from the years that I play. I didn't have the gear you guys have, and stuff. But, what is it like, and what are you doing? Are you cold plunging? Are you doing a lot of therapy and stuff?
Yeah, so, during fall camp, there's a mandatory time where we go in and do cold plunges and stuff like that. Or
how does that make you feel?
It feels good after, but in the moment, it doesn't feel too good. But they have a good training staff. For I guess the resources they have at Reinhardt. They take pride in us. Feeling good and being able to perform our best on the field. But I got these. It's those leg things, those compression things. Yeah.
Leg compression.
I think it's like Nortec or
Nortec.
Yeah. I got some of those because I've battled with my knees and stuff over the years, but they help a lot. So anytime I got to myself, I usually put those on and throw on a show or something.
There you go.
I got to feel good to play good, So
exactly. I think that's one of the things that kids today, especially the younger kids in school, they don't think about, recovery. They get done with practice. They just can't wait to just go home and eat. Go to Chick-fil-A, go through the line, do what they got to do, right? But taking care of the bodies is so important because that is your temple, man. Yeah. That's your money. You know what I'm saying? That's one way or another. It's going to be your money, right? You got to go out and you got to perform, whether it's at work, whether it's on a football field, whether it's as a father or as a parent. You got to perform, and if you're not healthy, you can't do that. And I think people forget that, and they don't take the time to learn what they can do in order to do those types of things. So, well, you know what? It's been, I know it's a tough road for a lot of kids in your shoes. There's so many kids today that, would love to play Division I football, would love to go pro, would love to do those things. Those are dreams, but, they're wondering, hey, is it possible? Can I get there? And you know what? You're proof that, guess what? You don't have to be 6'4". You could still play ball in college, okay? And still get a good education. And who knows what happens after that?
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. There's been some great stories with some great people. If that's really what's in your heart and what God really has planned for you.
Exactly.
And if not, like you said before, he's going to lead you in the direction that, you should certainly, overcome and be able to do. One last thing, what would you tell the viewers if you look at a camera and tell some of these kids today, what would you tell them some of the most important things to know and to remember as they're trying to make decisions and going to college or whether or not to?
Ultimately, you want to go to a place that feels like home. You're going to be there for 4 years, if everything works out. Don't rush into, the hype and everything, revolving around recruiting. At the end of the day, you got to put yourself, basically on the campus and in that program in your mind and see how maybe successful you could be there. And ultimately, it's a life-altering decision because a lot of people nowadays, they jump from college to college. They don't have that loyalty. And, I feel like it plays a big part. You want to be at a place where, you can succeed and, just have a great time.
There you go. There you have it, folks. You heard it right there. If you're a student and you know what, you want to go to school and play ball, you can. You can. It doesn't have to always be D1. It doesn't have to be the pro level. You could still play, get a great education, and do wonderful things in life. Riley's proof of that. And as I always said, if your life was a movie, would it be worth watching? And if the answer is no, then stop being ordinary and start being extraordinary. This is your boy WamBam, and as always, stay positive, baby, and keep testing negative. Till next Wednesday, I'm out. This podcast was brought to you by Cost Plus Processing, the leader in merchant processing. Call 1-855-391-9190 and find out why they are the future in merchant processing.